Part 4, The Twilight of the Gods. Chapter 27, Ragnarök 1. The Decline of the Gods. The story of the Aesir's decline in Norse mythology is a profound depiction of the fleeting nature of existence, even for the divine. The Aesir, a pantheon of gods with both divine and giant origins, were seen as mortal beings. Their imperfections were symbolized by their vulnerability to death, akin to humans, which they had to accept to attain spiritual immortality. This mythological narrative unfolds as a dramatic saga, culminating in a tragic conclusion where justice is meted out through reward and punishment. The sagas recount the ascent and descent of the Aesir, highlighting their initial tolerance of Loki, the embodiment of evil. Loki's presence among the gods led to their involvement in various troubles, costing them their virtue and peace. His ultimate betrayal, which resulted in the death of Balder, the god of light and purity, marked the beginning of the end for the Aesir. The gods' belated recognition of Loki's malevolence led to his banishment to Earth. Yet his influence persisted among humans, who, following the gods' example, succumbed to his corrupt teachings. The verse you've quoted portrays a grim depiction of the world's descent into chaos and moral decay, foreshadowing Ragnarök, the Norse apocalypse. This era is characterized by intense conflict, natural disasters, and the eventual annihilation of gods, giants, and the world itself. The poetic Edda, especially the Völuspá, contains verses that echo the sentiment of the quoted passage, offering a glimpse of a world engulfed in strife and devoid of compassion. Brothers will fight and kill each other, sisters' children will break familial bonds. It is a harsh world with rampant immorality, an age of axes, an age of swords. Shields will be shattered, a time of winds, a time of wolves, before the world plunges into ruin. No one will show mercy to another. This excerpt from the Völuspá encapsulates the essence of the gods' decline, where family ties disintegrate and societal norms collapse, leading to a merciless world. The Völuspá presents a prophetic vision of the events preceding Ragnarök, serving as a source for understanding the Norse perspective on the mortality of gods and the cyclical nature of time and existence. The decline of the gods is a central theme in these sagas and Eddas, symbolizing the inevitable cycle of birth, life, and death that even gods cannot evade. It serves as a reminder of the ephemeral nature of all things and underscores the importance of living a life marked by honor and courage, as Norse belief held that one's deeds in life determined their destiny in the afterlife. Fimbulvetur, or the Great Winter, plays a pivotal role in Norse mythology as a precursor to the catastrophic events of Ragnarök. It spans 3 consecutive winters without intervening summers, characterized by relentless snowfall from all directions and extreme cold unparalleled in history. This apocalyptic winter, detailed in both the poetic Edda and the prose Edda, signifies the impending end of the world known to gods and humans alike. Described vividly in the prose Edda by Snorri Sturluson, Fimbulvetur brings a period of great frost, fierce winds, and perpetual darkness due to the failing sun. It triggers societal collapse, widespread famine, and despair among people, setting the stage for the final battle of Ragnarök. The moral decay is emphasized as familial bonds disintegrate and conflicts escalate to unprecedented levels. The poetic Edda's Völuspá reinforces this bleak outlook, prophesying a time of rampant violence and moral degradation where mercy and kinship hold no sway. This Axe Age, Sword Age depicts a world descending into chaos before its ultimate demise. Fimbulvetur serves not only as a climatic phenomenon but as a metaphor for the decline of natural and human orders, essential for the renewal that follows Ragnarök. It tests the resilience of gods and mortals alike, underscoring the inevitability of destruction and the subsequent rebirth in Norse cosmology. In essence, Fimbulvetur embodies the harsh realities of Norse mythology, reflecting both the physical challenges of severe winters and the existential crises that accompany the end of times. 3. The wolves let loose. As the end of days approaches in Norse mythology, the unleashed wolves of the Ironwood play a pivotal role in the unfolding chaos of Ragnarök. These wolves, Hati, Skull, and Managarm, are the monstrous offspring of Fenrir, the great wolf, bound by the gods. Their story is one of relentless pursuit and ultimate destruction, deeply intertwined with the cosmic events of the final apocalypse. 4. Heimdall gives the alarm. As Ragnarök, the ultimate apocalyptic battle in Norse mythology, approaches, Heimdall stands vigilant as the guardian of the gods. His duty is to watch over the Bifrost, the rainbow bridge connecting Asgard, realm of the gods, and Midgard, realm of humans. Renowned for his keen senses, Heimdall can hear the grass grow and see for hundreds of leagues day and night. Ominous signs. Heimdall is the first to notice the ominous signs of impending doom. These include the increasing strength of Fenrir's progeny, the consumption of the sun and moon, and ensuing chaos. As the earth trembles and stars fall, Heimdall listens intently to the cries of the cocks heralding the final alarm from their perches across realms. These cocks, Fjalar in Valhalla, Gullinkambi in Midgard, and a dark red rooster in Hel, mark the final call to arms, awakening all beings from their slumber. This moment is vividly described in the Prose Edda. The red cock Fjalar will crow in Valhalla, the golden-combed rooster Gullinkambi will crow to wake the gods and the warriors in Odin's hall, and a third cock will crow, a dark red one in Hel's realm, waking the dead. Prose Edda, Gylfaginning, Chapter 51. Heimdall hears these alarm cries and understands their grave implications. The j.r.r's blast. In response to these omens, Heimdall raises the j.r.r horn to his lips. This horn, renowned for its resonant sound, has been kept ready for this pivotal moment, the day when the gods must assemble for their final battle. The blast of the j.r.r horn is not merely a signal. It is a rallying cry heard throughout all 9 realms, echoing far and wide to awaken gods, giants, and all beings. The Poetic Edda captures this dramatic moment. Then to the gods will Heimdall loudly speak, with the horn held aloft, he who among men gathers wisdom from the world's end. Poetic Edda, Völuspá, stanza 46. This passage emphasizes Heimdall's role in rousing the gods and calling them to action. Rallying the Aesir and Einherjar. Upon hearing the long-awaited blast of the j.r.r horn, the Aesir, Norse gods, and the Einherjar, heroic dead residing in Valhalla, spring into action. These warriors, chosen by Odin to fight beside him during Ragnarök, have prepared for this moment through endless days of training and feasting in Valhalla. As the call reverberates, they leap from their golden couches, grasp their weapons, and mount their steeds. The urgency and readiness for battle are palpable as they hasten toward their destiny. This moment is depicted in the Prose Edda. Heimdall will blow mightily into the horn and awaken all the gods, who will hold council together. Odin will ride to Mimir's well and consult Mimir's head for advice. Prose Edda, Gylfaginning, Chapter 51. The ride to Vigrid, armed and prepared, the gods and Einherjar charge over the quivering Bifrost bridge, which vibrates under their weight. Their destination is Vigrid, Vigridr, the vast plain chosen for the final confrontation according to ancient prophecy. This plain is where the ultimate battle between order and chaos will unfold. The Poetic Edda describes this final journey. On the field that is called Vigrid, they will gather for battle. The plain measures 100 miles, every side of it is vast. Poetic Edda, Vafthrudnismal, stanza 18. Vafthrudnir's prophecy underscores the scale and significance of Vigrid, highlighting its vast expanse as the stage for the ultimate showdown. In summary, Heimdall's role as the herald of Ragnarök is pivotal. Observing the foreboding signs and hearing the cock's alarm, he sounds the j.r.r horn, signaling the gods and Einherjar to prepare for their final battle. The resounding horn blast awakens warriors from their rest across all realms, and they ride over the Bifrost to Vigrid, the appointed battlefield. This moment, filled with urgency and premonition, sets the stage for the epic conclusion of the Norse mythological saga. 5. The Terrors of the Sea. As Ragnarök, the cataclysmic end of the world in Norse mythology, unfolds, even the depths of the oceans are not spared from chaos. One of the most fearsome entities to arise from the turmoil is Irmungandr, the Midgard serpent. This colossal snake, who encircles the world, is awakened by the upheavals shaking the earth. The ensuing scenes depict not only his wrath, but also the mobilization of other dark forces destined to join the final battle against the gods. Irmungandr awakens. Irmungandr, often called the Midgard serpent, has been lying dormant in the ocean's depths, but the cosmic disturbances of Ragnarök rouse him from his slumber. His awakening is a spectacle of terrifying power. As he thrashes and writhes, the seas are churned into massive waves that have never before been witnessed. His immense body, stirring violently, causes such turbulence that the waters swell and surge, threatening to inundate the land. The poetic Edda vividly captures this tumultuous scene in Voluspa. Then comes the great Midgard serpent, lashing the waves in giant fury, spewing venom everywhere, on land, in sea, and in the air. Poetic Edda, Spa, stanza 56. These lines describe the serpent's deadly influence on the environment, as his venom poisons the earth, sea, and sky, creating an apocalyptic atmosphere. The lashing waves and Naglfar. The colossal waves stirred by Ermungunder's thrashing serve a greater purpose in the narrative of Ragnarök. Among these waves, a fateful ship known as Naglfar is set afloat. This ship, made entirely from the nails of the dead, symbolizes the collective neglect of generations who failed to properly tend to their deceased. According to the mythology, if a corpse's nails are not trimmed before burial, they are collected to build Naglfar. The prose Edda describes Naglfar and its grim significance. Naglfar, the ship of death, will be loosed from its moorings, built from the nails of the dead, afloat on the swelling sea to carry the giants to battle. Prose Edda, Gylfaginning, chapter 51. Once afloat, Naglfar becomes the vessel for Loki and the fiery legions from Muspelheim, the realm of fire. These forces, driven by destruction, steer the ship across the tumultuous seas to join the great conflict at Vigrid. The giants' fleet, Naglfar is not the only ship heading towards the battlefield. Another ship, steered by the giant Rim, emerges from the northern fog banks. This vessel carries the Frost Giants, who are armed and ready for war. The Frost Giants, longtime enemies of the Aesir, seize this opportunity to exact their revenge and fulfill their destiny in the prophesied last battle. The prose Edda again provides insight into this foreboding scene. From the east comes Hrym with shield held high. In giant wrath he steers his ship, breaking through the waves with his frostbitten crew, heading towards the place of the final fight. Prose Edda, Gylfaginning, chapter 51. These giants, led by Hrym, represent the primal forces of cold and ice, joining forces with other malevolent beings to challenge the gods in the ultimate showdown. Summary. The narrative of The Terrors of the Sea vividly portrays the emergence of Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, whose awakening and violent movements cause the oceans to rise in rage. This chaos sets the stage for the release of Naglfar, the ship of the dead, which Loki commandeers with his fiery host from Muspelheim. Concurrently, the Frost Giants, led by Hrym, sail their ship from the north, eager to join the battle at Vigrid. These elements underscore the profound interconnectedness of land, sea, and the celestial realms in the Norse eschatological vision, culminating in the fated conflict that will reshape the world. 6. The terrors of the underworld emerge. As the earth splits open, Hel, the formidable goddess of death, emerges from her shadowy domain, leading her dread minions. The Hellhound Garm, a fearsome beast, follows her closely, representing the spirits of the damned, and the dragon Nidhugg, a creature of utter malevolence, soars above with corpses clinging to his wings. The grim procession is a stark reminder of the inevitable doom that awaits the gods and humanity alike. Loki, ever the instigator of chaos, greets these forces with unrestrained glee. Placing himself at the forefront, he leads them into the fray, their combined might a formidable force against the already beleaguered gods. This scene is a testament to Loki's role as a catalyst of destruction in Norse mythology. Surtur and the sons of Muspel. Suddenly, the sky itself is torn apart, making way for the fire giant Surtur, a figure of immense power and fury. With a sword blazing like the sun, Surtur charges through the breach, followed by his sons, the sons of Muspel. As they gallop across Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge, their fiery steeds reduce it to rubble, cutting off the gods' connection to Midgard and sealing their doom. The imagery of Surtur and his horde is poetically captured in lines that describe the terrifying advance of these fire giants. Down through the fields of air, with glittering armor fair, in battle order bright, they sped while seething flame from rapid hoofstrokes came. Leading his gleaming band, rode Surtur mid the red ranks of raging fire. These lines, drawn from James Chalmers' Valhalla, paint a vivid picture of the chaos and destruction wrought by Surtur's advance. The Aesir prepare for battle. Amidst these dire events, the gods of Asgard, the Aesir, prepare for their final stand. Despite their impending doom, they don their finest armor and ride forth with determination and courage. Odin, the All-Father, with his single eye, Tyr, the one-handed god of war, and Frey, wielding only a stag's horn instead of his once mighty sword, epitomize the bravery and defiance of the Norse gods in the face of certain death. In a poignant moment, Odin visits the j.r.r. well beneath the roots of the great tree Yggdrasil, where the Norns, the weavers of fate, sit silently. The threads of their web lie severed, symbolizing the end of the gods' era. Odin's whispered words to Mimir, the wise head, signify a final act of consultation with wisdom before he re-enters the battlefield. The Prose Edda, specifically in Gylfaginning, the Beguiling of Gylfi, offers a detailed recounting of the events of Ragnarök, providing context and narrative structure to the unfolding chaos. These sources together paint a comprehensive picture of Ragnarök, from the emergence of the underworld's horrors to the final, heroic stand of the gods. 7. The Great Battle of Vigrid, Ragnarök. In Norse mythology, the Great Battle of Ragnarök is the cataclysmic event that marks the end of the cosmos and the dawn of a new world. The battleground is the expansive plain of Vigrid, where gods, giants, and monstrous beings gather for the final showdown. This event is vividly depicted in various sources such as the Poetic Edda, the Prose Edda, and numerous sagas, the gathering of forces. On the day of Ragnarök, forces representing order and chaos confront each other on the plain of Vigrid. The gods, Aesir and Venir, and the valiant Einherjar, fallen warriors chosen by Odin, face their adversaries, the fiery Surtur, frost giants, the dead from Hel's realm, and Loki with his fearsome offspring, the wolf Fenrir, the serpent Jormungandr, and the hound Garm. The Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, and Fenrir exhale deadly fumes that darken the skies and poison the air. The years roll on, the generations pass, the ages unfold, and bring us nearer to the final day when from the south the fiery band shall march and cross the bridge of heaven with Loki as guide and Fenris at his heel with broken chain, while from the east the giant Reimr steers his ship and the great serpent makes for land, and all are marshaled in one flaming square against the gods upon the plains of heaven. Matthew Arnold, Balder, Dead. The prophecy of Ragnarök describes a universe consumed by chaos and warfare. The skies rupture as Surtur leads his fiery legions from Muspelheim, and the giant Rim guides Naglfar, the ship fashioned from the nails of the dead, toward the battlefield. The clash between the gods and their ancient adversaries is unavoidable and catastrophic. The clash of titans. As the battle unfolds, the gods and their enemies engage in ferocious combat, reflecting the warrior ethos of Norse culture. Odin confronts Fenrir and Thor confronts Jormungandr. Each deity is locked in a deadly struggle against a formidable opponent. The echoes of battle reverberate across the cosmos, marking the ultimate fate of gods and mortals alike. Odin's duel with Fenrir symbolizes the struggle between order and chaos. Despite Odin's formidable skills, he proves no match for the ever-growing wolf. Fenrir's jaws, spanning the divide between heaven and earth, finally close around Odin. Fenrir shall with impious tooth slay the sire of rolling years. Vithar shall avenge his fall, and grappling with the shaggy wolf shall cleave his cold and gory jaws. Vafthrud Nismal, translation by W. Taylor. Thor's battle with Jormungandr is equally intense. The god of thunder, wielding his mighty hammer Mjolnir, strikes down the Midgard serpent, but not before succumbing to its venomous breath. Odin's son goes with the monster to fight. Midgard's Veir in his rage will slay the worm. 9 feet will go Fjörgen's son, bowed by the serpent who feared no foe. Semon's Edda, translation by Benjamin Thorpe. The deaths of gods. The gods fall one by one in this apocalyptic conflict. Freyr is slain by Surtur, Heimdall and Loki perish in combat with each other, and Tyr meets his fate battling Garm, the hound. Each confrontation is marked by heroism and inevitable tragedy, reflecting the Norse belief in the inescapable destiny of all beings. Vidar, Odin's avenging son, steps forward to exact vengeance on Fenrir. Using his exceptional strength and a specially crafted shoe for this purpose, he tears apart the wolf, avenging his father's demise. The aftermath and renewal. Despite the battle resulting in the deaths of numerous gods and the destruction of the world, Norse mythology also speaks of rebirth. After the chaos and devastation, a new world emerges from the ruins, symbolizing hope and renewal. The surviving gods and humans are tasked with rebuilding and revitalizing the cosmos. Ragnarök is a profound narrative that encompasses themes of fate, valor, and rebirth, encapsulating the essence of the Norse worldview. It portrays a universe where even the gods are subject to destiny, and their bravery in the face of inevitable destruction serves as an enduring inspiration. 8. The devouring fire of Ragnarök. In the Norse mythological vision of Ragnarök, the devouring fire represents the final act of cosmic destruction. Following the catastrophic battle on Vigrid's plain, Surtur, the fire giant, unleashes a cataclysmic conflagration that engulfs the universe. This apocalyptic fire signals the end of the old world, reducing it to ashes and paving the way for renewal and rebirth. Surtur's wrath. Surtur, the primordial being of fire from Muspelheim, plays a pivotal role in the destruction of the cosmos. After the ferocious battles where the gods and the forces of chaos have fallen, Surtur wields his fiery sword and casts it over heaven, earth, and the 9 realms of hell. His flames consume everything in their path, symbolizing the ultimate destructive power of fire. Fire's breath assails the all-nourishing tree. Towering fire plays against heaven itself. Salmon's Edda, translation by Benjamin Thorpe. The fire not only destroys the physical world, but also reaches Yggdrasil, the world tree, which holds the cosmos together. As the flames climb the branches and engulf the roots of Yggdrasil, the tree that has sustained all life and held the realms in balance is reduced to ashes. The consumption of the cosmos. The fire's fury does not stop with Yggdrasil. Surtur's flames extend to the palaces of the gods, the homes of the divine beings who have overseen the world. These golden halls, symbols of divine order and power, are utterly consumed. The radiant beauty and strength they represented are erased in an instant, leaving behind only ruin and desolation. The other gods who took part in the fray, and all the Einherjar having now perished, Surtur suddenly flung his fiery brands over heaven, earth, and the 9 kingdoms of hell. The raging flames enveloped the massive stem of the world Ash Yggdrasil and reached the golden palaces of the gods, which were utterly consumed. The vegetation upon earth was likewise destroyed, and the fervent heat made all the waters seethe and boil. As Surtur's fire spreads across the earth, it destroys all vegetation. The once green and fertile lands are scorched, and the oceans themselves begin to boil. Every trace of life and order is eradicated in this inferno. This all-consuming fire represents the culmination of chaos, where even the elemental forces of nature are undone. The aftermath. The world sinks beneath the waves. After the fire has consumed everything, the earth, now charred and lifeless, sinks into the sea. The boiling waters engulf the remnants of the world, completing the cycle of destruction. This descent into the ocean signifies the obliteration of the old world and the dissolution of all that once existed. The great conflagration raged fiercely until everything was consumed, when the earth, blackened and scarred, slowly sank beneath the boiling waves of the sea. This imagery of the earth sinking beneath the waves is deeply symbolic. It reflects the end of the current cycle of existence and the potential for a new beginning. The Norse conception of time and reality is cyclical, where destruction is not final, but a necessary precursor to rebirth, hope, and renewal. Despite the overwhelming destruction brought by Surtur's flames, Norse mythology holds a vision of hope and renewal. After the apocalyptic fire has done its work, a new world is envisioned to rise from the ashes. The ancient belief is that from the ruins and chaos, goodness and purity will emerge, stronger and more enduring than before. All evil dies there, an endless death, while goodness riseth from that great world fire, purified at last to a life far higher, better, nobler than the past. This theme of rebirth and renewal is a powerful aspect of the Norse mythological narrative. It suggests that after the purging fires of Ragnarök, a new order will emerge. Some of the gods are prophesied to return, and a renewed earth, free from the corruption and evil of the past, will come into being. This cycle of destruction and rebirth reflects a deep understanding of the balance between chaos and order and the perpetual renewal of life. Conclusion. The devouring fire of Ragnarök encapsulates the final apocalyptic destruction that heralds the end of the world as known in Norse mythology. Surtur's flames represent the ultimate force of chaos, consuming the cosmos and reducing it to nothingness. Yet within this narrative of destruction lies a profound hope for renewal and rebirth. The Norse myths envision a world reborn from the ashes and purified and ready for a new cycle of existence. This duality of destruction and renewal underscores the cyclical nature of time and existence in Norse cosmology, reflecting the eternal struggle and balance between order and chaos. Regeneration after Ragnarok, Norse mythology's concept of Ragnarok, is not merely an end, but a cycle of death and rebirth. After the cataclysmic destruction wrought by Surtur's flames and the ensuing flood, the cosmos is purified and ready for renewal. The belief in regeneration is a profound testament to the Norse worldview, which sees life as an eternal cycle of destruction and creation. The rebirth of the earth. Following the devastating fire and the subsequent sinking of the earth into the sea, the Norse myths tell of a miraculous regeneration. The earth, once charred and submerged, rises again in a renewed state, embodying pristine beauty and fertility. This rebirth is a central theme in the Norse eschatological vision, symbolizing hope and the continuity of life. Our ancestors believed fully in regeneration, and held that after a certain space of time, the earth, purged by fire and purified by its immersion in the sea, rose again in all its pristine beauty and was illumined by the sun, whose chariot was driven by a daughter of Sol, born before the wolf had devoured her mother. The sun, which had been consumed by the wolf Fenrir during Ragnarok, is now replaced by a new, more perfect orb. This new sun is driven by a daughter of Sol, the sun goddess. Unlike its predecessor, this sun does not scorch the earth but provides nurturing light, fostering the growth of lush greenery and abundant life. We shall see emerge from the bright ocean at our feet an earth more fresh, more verdant than the last, with fruits self-springing and a seed of man preserved, who then shall live in peace as then in war. Matthew Arnold. Balder dead. This vision of a renewed earth highlights a transformation from the harshness of the old world to a more harmonious and fertile new world. The rays of the new sun are gentle, allowing life to flourish without the need for protection from its heat. The survivors, Lif and Lifthrasir. Amidst the destruction of Ragnarok, two human beings, Lif meaning life and Lifthrasir meaning striving for life, find refuge in Hodmimir's forest. This forest, associated with Mimir, a wise being, provides sanctuary for the last of humanity. Sheltered from the devastation, they sleep through the chaos, nourished by the morning dew until it is safe to reemerge. Two human beings, a woman, Lif, and a man, Lifthrasir, now emerged from the depths of Mimir's forest, whence they had fled for refuge when Surtur set fire to the world. They had sunk into peaceful slumber there, unconscious of the destruction around them, and had remained nurtured by the morning dew until it was safe for them to wander out once more when they took possession of the regenerated earth, which their descendants were to people and over which they were to have full sway. Lif and Lifthrasir symbolize the persistence of life and the renewal of humanity. Their survival ensures that the cycle of life continues, and they are destined to repopulate the earth. The new world they inhabit is free from the conflicts and sufferings of the old one, suggesting a future of peace and prosperity. The New World Order, with the return of light and life, the earth is once again a fertile and bountiful place. The new sun's rays, less intense than before, allow for a balanced and thriving ecosystem. Flowers bloom, fruits grow in abundance, and the earth is adorned with a verdant mantle. This transformation signifies not only the physical regeneration of the earth, but also a spiritual renewal. The new world emerging after Ragnarok is envisioned as a place where the remnants of the old conflicts are replaced by harmony. Lif and Lifthrasir, as the progenitors of the new human race, represent a fresh start for mankind, unburdened by the past. Conclusion. The concept of regeneration in Norse mythology provides a powerful counterpoint to the destruction of Ragnarok. It illustrates the belief that from the ashes of the old world, a new and more harmonious world will arise. The narrative of Lif and Lifthrasir emphasizes the resilience of life and the hope for a better future. The rebirth of the earth, nourished by a new sun, signifies a renewed cycle of existence where peace and prosperity can flourish. This theme of renewal and hope is a central element of Norse cosmology, reflecting an enduring faith in the cycle of life and the possibility of a new beginning after even the most cataclysmic events. 10. A new heaven after Ragnarok. Following Ragnarok, the apocalyptic event in Norse mythology, a vision of renewal and regeneration unfolds. Despite the catastrophic events that led to the destruction of the old world, a new era of peace and prosperity emerges. This new heaven is inhabited by the surviving gods, who embody the enduring and immortal forces of nature, leading humanity into a renewed existence. The survivors, Vali, Vidar, Modi, and Magni. Ragnarok marks the end of many gods who personified natural forces and cosmic order. However, certain deities survive this epic conflict, symbolizing the enduring aspects of these forces. Vali and Vidar, sons of Odin, represent resilience and the everlasting essence of nature. They return to Idavold, the plane of renewal, where the new cosmos begins to take shape. Vidar's strength and Vali's courage inherit the empty realm of gods. Modi's prowess and Magni's might wield the massive hammer's weight gained from Thor when Thor must fall. Vafthrudnismal, translated by William Taylor. Joining them are Modi and Magni, sons of Thor, who embody strength and vitality. They retrieve their father's sacred hammer, Mjolnir, from the battlefield ruins. This recovery signifies the preservation of power and protection in the new world. The return of Balder and Hodur Balder, the radiant god of light, and his brother Hodur, once adversaries, emerge from the underworld. Their return symbolizes reconciliation and the triumph of light and goodness over the darkness of the end times. Their presence in the new heaven reflects hope for a future marked by harmony and peace. Here they were joined by Honir, no longer in exile among the Vanir, who, as developing forces, had also vanished forever. And out of the dark underworld where he had languished so long, rose the radiant Balder, together with his brother Hodur, with whom he was reconciled, and with whom he was to live in perfect amity and peace. Hoenir, once exiled among the Vanir, also reappears, signaling the integration of different aspects of the divine order into a unified whole. The surviving gods, free from past conflicts, recall their former companions with fondness rather than sorrow. Their memories bridge the past and the new beginnings, rediscovering the past on Idavold. As the gods traverse the plane of Idavold, they discover golden discs, relics of their former life and leisure. These artifacts evoke memories of peaceful and joyful times before Ragnarok. This rediscovery symbolizes life's continuity and the lasting legacy of the gods, even amidst profound transformation. Once more we shall tread that well-known plain of Ida, and among the grass shall find the golden dice with which we played of yore, and that will bring to mind the former life and pastime of the gods, the wise discourse of Odin, the joys of other days. Matthew Arnold, Balder Dead. This moment of reflection underscores the resilience of the divine spirit and the eternal essence of the gods. It illustrates how the new order is deeply connected to the past, even as it moves toward a brighter future. The unscathed heaven, Gimli. Among the ruins of the old world, the gods discover that Gimli, the highest and most radiant abode, remains untouched by destruction. Gimli, with its golden roof shining brighter than the sun, stands as a symbol of hope and salvation. It becomes a refuge for the virtuous, a place where they can experience eternal joy and peace. When the small band of gods turned sorrowfully toward the place where their noble dwellings once stood, they were surprised and joyful to find that Gimli, the highest heavenly abode, had not been consumed, for it rose glittering before them, its golden roof outshining the sun. Rushing there, they discovered, to their great joy, that it had become a sanctuary for all the virtuous. Gimli represents the ultimate destination for those who survived Ragnarok's trials and maintained their virtue. It embodies the Norse vision of an ideal and eternal realm, where the righteous dwell in eternal happiness. In Gimli, the lofty realm, there shall the hosts of the virtuous reside, and through all ages taste profound gladness. Literature and Romance of Northern Europe, by Mary Howitt. This vision of a new heaven emphasizes the Norse belief in the cyclical nature of existence. After Ragnarok's destruction and cleansing, the cosmos is reborn into a more perfect and harmonious state. Gimli, as the eternal and untainted sanctuary, symbolizes the culmination of this cycle, offering a glimpse into the ultimate peace and joy that lies beyond temporal conflicts and struggles. Conclusion. The Norse myth of Ragnarok does not conclude with the world's destruction. Instead, it presents a compelling vision of renewal and rebirth. The surviving gods, embodying enduring strength and virtue, gather on the plains of Idavold to rebuild and renew. The rediscovery of past joys and the emergence of a new heaven in Gimli illustrate the Norse belief in the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. This narrative of renewal offers a hopeful perspective, affirming that from the ashes of the old world, a new and more harmonious existence will arise, marked by peace, virtue, and lasting happiness. A 11. One too mighty to name. The Norse mythology, as preserved in the Eddas and sagas by the Icelandic settlers, presents a profound narrative of creation, destruction, and renewal. The depiction of Ragnarök and the subsequent regeneration of the world are central themes that echo through these ancient texts. However, the contact with Christian beliefs over the centuries influenced these myths, adding layers that reflect a merging of pagan and Christian ideas, particularly in the portrayal of the ultimate divine authority and the final judgment. The influence of Christianity. By the time the Norsemen who settled in Iceland began documenting their rich oral traditions in the form of the Eddas, they had been exposed to Christianity for centuries, albeit superficially through their Viking raids and subsequent interactions. This exposure subtly permeated their mythological narratives, influencing their descriptions of the world's end and the vision of a new, purged earth. As the Norsemen who settled in Iceland, and through whom the most complete exposition of the Odinic faith has come down to us in the Eddas and sagas, were not definitely converted until the 11th century, although they had come in contact with Christians during their Viking raids nearly 6 centuries before. It is very probable that the northern skalds gleaned some idea of the Christian doctrines, and that this knowledge influenced them to a certain extent and colored their descriptions of the end of the world and the regeneration of the earth. The echoes of Christian eschatology can be seen in the description of a god too mighty to name, a figure who arises after the chaos of Ragnarök to judge the survivors and rule over new heavens and earth. This addition to the Norse cosmology suggests an influence from the Christian concept of a singular, all-powerful deity presiding over the final judgment. The unnamed mighty god. The verse from the Eddic poem Völuspá hints at this figure who transcends the existing pantheon. This god, too powerful to be named, is said to emerge after the final battle and oversee the new order. He embodies a supreme authority that surpasses even Odin, suggesting a significant shift in the mythic narrative, potentially influenced by the monotheistic ideas encountered through Christianity. Then comes another, yet more mighty, but him I dare not venture to name. Few farther may look than to where Odin to meet the wolf goes. Völuspá. Translated by Mary Howitt. This interpolation reflects a recognition of a higher, universal judge who will separate the good from the evil. The righteous will find their place in the shining halls of Gimli, while the wicked will be condemned to Nastrand, a place of torment and darkness. Judgment and afterlife in Norse mythology. Following the cataclysm of Ragnarök, the surviving gods and humanity look towards a new beginning under the gaze of this unnamed mighty deity. Gimli, a heavenly abode untouched by the flames of Surtur, becomes the haven for the virtuous. This parallels the Christian vision of heaven, where the righteous are rewarded with eternal bliss. From his heavenly seat, he would judge mankind and separate the bad from the good. The former would be banished to the horrors of Nastrand, while the good would be transported to the blissful halls of Gimli the Fair. Nastrand, often described as a hall of serpents and darkness, bears similarity to the Christian concept of hell. It is a place of punishment for the wicked, reinforcing the idea of a moral dichotomy in the afterlife, a concept that may have been reinforced by Christian eschatology. The dwarfs and giants, a different fate. Not all beings face judgment in the same way. The dwarfs and giants, who play significant roles in the Norse cosmology, are given different considerations. These creatures are not judged for their actions because they are seen as executing the decrees of fate without free will. Consequently, they are provided with their own realms in the new order. There were 2 other heavenly mansions, however, one reserved for the dwarfs and the other for the giants. For as these creatures had no free will, and but blindly executed the decrees of fate, they were not thought to be responsible for any harm done by them, and were therefore held to be undeserving of punishment. The dwarfs reside in Sindri's Hall within the Nida Mountains, where they are free to enjoy their sparkling mead. This setting is symbolic of their industrious nature and their role as craftsmen and miners in the myths. The giants, on the other hand, take their pleasure in Brimer's Hall, located in Okolnir, meaning not cold, a region free from the freezing cold, symbolizing the end of their adversarial existence against the gods and mankind. The eternal cycle and the influence of Christianity. Mythologists have long debated the extent to which Christian teachings influenced the Norse portrayal of Ragnarok and its aftermath. Some argue that the vivid descriptions of the world's end and the emergence of a new, more harmonious order are reflective of Christian ideas about the apocalypse and the final judgment. Various mythologists have, of course, attempted to explain these myths, and some, as we have already stated, see in the story of Ragnarok the influence of Christian teachings, and esteem it only a barbaric version of the end of the world and the coming judgment day, when a new heaven and earth shall arise, and all the good shall enjoy eternal bliss. These parallels suggest that the Norse conception of the world's end and its renewal may have been shaped by the narratives they encountered through Christian interactions. However, even with these influences, the Norse myths retain their distinct character, emphasizing the cyclical nature of existence, the impermanence of life, and the hope for renewal and continuity. Conclusion. The Norse mythology surrounding Ragnarok and the subsequent emergence of a new heaven reflects a complex interplay of indigenous beliefs and external influences. The introduction of a god too mighty to name and the themes of judgment and afterlife suggest an assimilation of Christian eschatological concepts into the rich tapestry of Norse cosmology. This synthesis creates a narrative that honors the traditional Norse values of resilience and renewal while incorporating elements of the new religious ideas they encountered. The resulting myths offer a profound vision of the eternal cycle of destruction and regeneration, where even in the face of ultimate doom, the hope for a better and brighter future endures.